Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. If you're new here, consider subscribing. It really helps keep these stories coming. And while you're here, let me know in the comments where you're listening from. Now, sit back, relax, and let's get into the story. They say every job has its quiet days. As a school crossing guard, my whole job used to be quiet days. Up at 6:30, jacket on, whistle around my neck. I'd walk 2 blocks down to the same crosswalk I'd been stationed at for the last 11 years. Most of the kids knew me. The little ones would wave. The older ones would ignore me unless they needed me to stop traffic when they were running late. It was a Tuesday. One of those gray, overcast mornings that made the whole town look like it was running on 50% battery. The kind of day that makes your coffee taste weak and your shoes feel too loose. I remember thinking, something's off. Not in a dramatic way, just a tiny itch in the back of my head. Like I'd left the oven on. I stood on the sidewalk near Birch and Weller, sipping my coffee from a thermos. The school bell wouldn't ring for another hour, but I liked to be early. That morning, it was too early. Not a soul in sight, no joggers, no dog walkers. Just silence, and a cold breeze that stung like it was carrying needles. The first sign something was wrong came at 7:08. A white sedan came barreling down Birch, scraping the curb. Not normal. Drivers in this town were too cautious for that. It skidded to a stop right in front of me, and I almost blew my whistle out of reflex, like that would help. The door swung open. A man stumbled out. His shirt was ripped and his face was wrong. Not hurt, not bruised. Just blank, like he wasn't home behind the eyes. He walked into the street, arms slack, mouth slightly open, dragging one leg like he'd forgotten how to use it. I asked if he was all right. He didn't respond. That's when I heard it, the sound of a low, wet snarl from inside the car. Then a second figure popped up in the back seat, slamming against the window so hard it cracked. It wasn't a snarl like a dog. It was human. A man, or what used to be one. His face was pale, jaw unhinged too wide like it had come loose at the hinge. I backed away, heart pounding. That was the last moment I could pretend it wasn't real. The man who'd stumbled out of the car dropped to his knees in the middle of the street. No scream, no cry for help. Just dropped, like his bones gave up. And then the thing in the back seat kicked the door open. It crawled out, moving on all fours like it didn't remember how to walk right. Its skin was stretched too tight, mouth twitching as if it was stuck halfway between a laugh and a scream. When it got close to the kneeling man, I expected it to speak, or cry, or ask for help. It didn't. It bit him. I'm not talking about a fight or a scuffle. I mean it bit the man's neck like a wild animal. No hesitation, no warning. Just tore in. The sound, it wasn't like in movies, no dramatic music, just wet, horrible crunching. The man didn't even scream right away. He twitched, hand reaching up feebly to push the thing away. Then he went limp. Fast. I took a step back, mouth dry. My fingers gripped the whistle around my neck, like blowing it would make this whole thing go away. I didn't blow it, I ran. I ducked behind a row of parked cars and crouched low. My knees ached. I hadn't run like that in years. But adrenaline doesn't care about bad joints. I peeked between 2 bumpers. The thing stood up, hunched over. Its face was slick with red. It started sniffing the air like it could feel I was still there. Then I made a mistake. My hand brushed against a trash can, knocking it over. The clang echoed down the empty street. The thing turned. And it charged. Its feet slapped against the pavement like bare heels on tile. Awkward, fast, wrong. I took off around the corner, heart pounding like it was trying to break through my ribs. I didn't think, I didn't plan, I just moved. That's when I saw her Maya. 10 years old, blue coat, polka dot backpack, walking down the sidewalk, earphones in, totally unaware. I screamed her name. She turned, confused, pulled out one earbud. "Mr. Dale?" No time. I grabbed her arm and yanked her back just as the thing rounded the corner. She screamed. I grabbed the stop sign pole out of instinct, yanked it right from the concrete. It cracked like a bone and swung. I don't know if it was luck or fear, but I hit it square in the jaw. It fell hard, rolled over once, then got back up like nothing was broken. But I had a 10-year-old to protect, Dot, so we ran. We ducked into the alley behind the convenience store on Weller. Maya was sobbing, quietly, trying to be brave. I told her to keep low. I told her it would be okay. I didn't know if that was true. I peeked around the corner of a dumpster. The creature was standing at the mouth of the alley, twitching like it was processing too much noise at once. Its head jerked in little motions, up, left, up again, like a bug trying to find a scent in the air. Then it turned and bolted past, didn't see us, didn't smell us. Maybe Dot, we got lucky. That's when we heard the sirens. Ambulances. Police. Somewhere in the distance, maybe downtown. Dot Maya looked up at me, eyes wide. They're coming to help, right? I wanted to believe that, I really did, Dot. But help doesn't usually come with that many sirens at once, and they weren't moving toward us. They were moving away. I checked my phone. No signal, no texts, nothing. Just that spinning little wheel, searching for something that wasn't there anymore. I told Maya we needed to get inside, somewhere we could lock up, somewhere quiet. We crept out of the alley, and I spotted the fire station across the street. Brick walls, reinforced doors, emergency radios. I figured if anyone had answers, it'd be them. The front doors were cracked open, .bad sign. We crossed the road fast and low. I kept my grip tight on the stop sign pole, my makeshift weapon. That thing was heavier than I expected, but it made me feel like I had a chance. Inside, the fire station was dead silent. No alarms, no shouting, just an old radio hissing static on the desk in the corner, Dot, and something else, a soft dragging sound from deeper in the building. I told Maya to stay behind me. We moved slowly down the hallway, past the gear lockers and engine bays. The dragging sound got louder, closer. I gripped the pole tighter. Around the corner was a man in uniform, one of the firefighters. He was on the floor, crawling, blood smeared behind him in a long, thick trail. His legs were bent in a way no legs should bend, Dot, but he was alive, eyes locked on us, reaching out. Don't, he rasped. It's in here. Then his face changed. A look of terror, Dot. Not pain, not confusion. Pure, primal fear. From the shadows above the lockers, something dropped. It wasn't like the others. This one moved with a strange, jerky rhythm, like it had more control, eyes focused, no slack jaw, no stumbling. It leapt at him, silent and fast, and clamped its teeth around his shoulder. I didn't think. I swung the pole as hard as I could. On, crack, Dot, right in the side of its head, Dot. It dropped, twitching. The firefighter was wheezing now, slumped back against the wall. His eyes met mine. Dot. He whispered one word before he stopped breathing. Hive. I didn't know what that meant. Not then, Dot, but I'd find out soon enough. We didn't stay in the fire station. Maya was shaking. I wanted to say something, some comforting lie about everything being okay, but the words just didn't come. What could I say? We'd just seen a man get attacked by something that wasn't fully human. Again. And the way it dropped down from above, waiting, that wasn't instinct, that was strategy. We grabbed what we could, a flashlight, a fire axe, a dusty walkie-talkie with a nearly dead battery. No working vehicles. The fire truck had been crashed straight through the back wall, like someone had tried to escape in a hurry and didn't quite make it. Outside, the sky was changing. It wasn't getting darker, not exactly, but the clouds had taken on this strange, coppery tone, like the atmosphere itself had caught a fever. Every breath I took tasted dry, metallic, like breathing through foil. And there was this sound, I thought it was just in my ears at first, a low hum deep in the bones, but Maya heard it too. She winced and covered her ears, shaking her head like it might help. Then the walkie-talkie on my belt hissed. "All units, avoid Sector 3. Repeat. Do not engage. Hive presence confirmed." The voice was sharp, panicked, but I recognized it. Officer Halverson, local patrol, retired last year, came back part-time. Good guy, used to hand out Halloween candy from the back of his cruiser. The kind of guy who kept gum in his pocket for nervous kids. They don't just bite. Listen to me. They think. They mimic. It's not like the movies. You can't. Click. The signal dropped. Maya looked up at me. "What's a hive?" I didn't answer. We moved fast down back roads and alleys, keeping low, avoiding open streets. Everything was too quiet. The usual sounds of the neighborhood, birds, cars, dogs, gone, replaced by that ever-present hum, like an electrical current running through the air. The grocery store on Lincoln still had power. Barely. The flickering lights inside made every shadow look like it was twitching. We slipped through the broken side entrance and locked ourselves in the manager's office. There, finally, I got a moment to breathe. Maya sat on the floor, hugging her knees. I found a blanket in the supply closet and wrapped it around her. She didn't speak, and I didn't push her. She'd seen too much already. I turned on the small TV in the corner, static, every channel. No emergency broadcast. Just white noise, flickering like it was trying to form images. Then, for half a second, the screen changed. A face. Human-shaped, but wrong. Eyes too wide, mouth unmoving. Staring straight into the camera like it knew I was watching. The picture flickered, twisted, and then cut to black. I turned the TV off. We needed a plan. Supplies, weapons. A safe place to hole up, at least until the next sunrise, if the sun ever came up again. That's when Maya whispered, "Someone's in the store." I froze. We both listened. Footsteps. Slow. Deliberate. Not the frantic scuffle of a survivor, or the clumsy shuffle of one of them, just pacing. Back and forth, like someone taking their time. I shut off the light, held my breath. Then a voice, just outside the door, soft and sing-song. "Knock, knock." I held Maya close, one hand over her mouth, the other gripping the fire axe. We didn't move. We didn't breathe. We listened. The voice came again, quieter now. "Knock, knock." The handle of the door twitched, not turned, not forced. Just tapped. Like whoever, or whatever, was out there was waiting for us to respond. Like it wanted to be invited in. I didn't say a word. Then it spoke again. But this time, it wasn't that strange, sing-song tone. It was me, my voice, my exact voice. "Hey kiddo, it's okay, it's just Mr. Dale, you can open the door." Maya looked at me in pure terror. I mouthed, "Don't." She nodded. Tears welled in her eyes. The voice outside started laughing slow, hollow, like it didn't really know how to do it right. Like it had learned the shape of a laugh, but not the feeling. Then silence. 5 long minutes passed. When I finally opened the door, there was nothing there. Just muddy footprints leading back down the aisle toward the freezer's except the footprints weren't quite human. The toes were too long. The arch was missing, like someone wearing a human skin suit trying to walk like us and getting it wrong. We left the office and crept through the aisles, avoiding broken glass and tipped-over displays. The whole place looked like it had been abandoned mid-rush. Shopping carts overturned, half-packed bags by the registers, a single cart sitting in the middle of the snack aisle filled with canned goods and teeth. Human teeth. Hundreds of them, all arranged in neat, perfect rows. Maya gripped my hand tighter. I didn't say a word. We made it to the storage room, grabbed what we could: granola bars, water, batteries, and duct tape. I didn't know why, but it felt like something we'd need, always does. On the way out, Maya pointed to the cooler window. "Look," she whispered. Across the street by the bus stop stood a woman, or something shaped like a woman. From far away, she looked normal. Too normal. Clothes too clean. Posture too stiff. Like she'd been posed, but it was the face that chilled me. I recognized it. It was Mrs. Kincaid, third-grade teacher. She used to cross at my post every day with her coffee in one hand and an old pink umbrella in the other, even when it wasn't raining. Only now, her mouth was hanging open too wide. Her jaw moved, but no sound came out, like a puppet with a broken speaker. Then, still watching us, she raised her hand and waved. I didn't wave back. I pulled Maya toward the back exit, careful not to look again. We slipped out into the alley and followed the drainage path behind the schoolyard. I didn't know where we were going, only that we had to keep moving. By then, the air felt electric. The humming was louder now, almost like a chorus, like it was underneath the town, beneath the pavement. Breathing. We passed the old playground, swings moving gently, no wind. Maya whispered, "They wear people." I looked down. "What do you mean?" She didn't blink. "They're not people anymore, but they wear them like clothes." I didn't ask how she knew. We moved on, toward the woods, toward where the sky was pulsing that sick orange-red glow. Somewhere deeper in the town, something was pulling them all in, drawing them. I could feel it, and I had a feeling we were going to find it, whether we wanted to or not. We reached the edge of the woods just after 9, or at least what should have been 9. My watch had stopped working. So had Maya's. The hands were stuck, twitching, trying to move forward, but locked in place like time itself had gotten jammed. The wind had vanished. The world was too still. We walked under the pine canopy, flashlight off, using only the faint red shimmer bleeding through the sky above. Every so often, I'd glance behind us, not for footsteps, but for mirrors. I was afraid I'd catch a glimpse of something wearing my face. It felt like the town was watching us dot, not the people, not the creatures dot the town. Buildings too quiet, streets too clean, not a single crow, not a single rat. Even the bugs had stopped buzzing dot. It was like the town had forgotten to die, and instead just waited. Somewhere in the trees, something whispered my name. Not loudly, just once, dot right in my ear. I turned, expecting to see something. Nothing there. But Maya had stopped walking. She was staring at a tree, a dead one, half burnt from a lightning strike years ago. "There," she said softly. "That's where the hive is." I didn't know how she knew, but I didn't argue. At the base of the tree was a hole, about the size of a manhole cover, ringed in dead grass. The earth around it was cracked and dry, like it had been drained. I knelt beside it, dot. There was heat coming out of it. And a smell I'll never forget, like wet rust, like rotting paper, like fear. Maya whispered, "It lives under us. It always has." My stomach turned. "Maya, how do you, She looked at me with eyes far too old for 10. I dream about it. Every night. I just didn't know it was real until today. I didn't want to go down there. Everything in my body screamed no. But something deep in me, some weird, cold instinct, knew that this was where it started, where it spread from, where it thought. We made a plan. I'd go in first, check it out, leave Maya outside, hidden, watching. I gave her the axe, kept the stop sign pole for myself. I lowered myself into the hole slowly, feet dangling into the warm, pulsing dark. As I dropped, I could hear it again, that humming. Closer now, more like a heartbeat. A slow, unnatural rhythm that pulsed through the soil and into my teeth. The tunnel walls weren't dirt, not anymore. They were something else, spongy, warm, breathing. And then I hit the bottom. It wasn't a cave. It was a chamber, a massive underground room, lit from the ceiling by hundreds, thousands of flickering screens, old TVs, monitors, broken phones, all showing static, or faces that blinked without moving, faces that watched. In the center of the chamber was a shape dot, not a creature, not a person dot, just a mass of limbs and eyes and mouths, all half-formed, half-remembered, twitching, repeating sounds like a broken cassette tape. It wasn't the hive dot. It was the brain. I couldn't move, couldn't speak. I stood there frozen as the thing turned toward me, or at least I felt it turn toward me. It didn't have a head, but it was looking. And then it spoke, not with sound, not with a mouth. It just put the words in my head. You are late, but still useful. I gripped the pole tighter. I was no hero. I was just a crossing guard dot. But I was down here now, dot. And I was going to make sure it didn't leave. The thing in the chamber pulsed when it spoke, not in sound, but in pressure. Like the walls of that place exhaled all at once, and I felt it behind my eyes. You are late, but still useful. I raised the stop sign pole like a spear. My hands were shaking, my knees weak. But fear's funny, it makes you sharper when it counts. My body remembered every time I stopped a car with nothing but a whistle and a glare. Every time I stepped between a kid and danger. Even if the danger was a pile of whispering mouths glued together by something older than language. You don't belong here, I said. The mass shifted. You do not understand. We were always here, before your roads, before your children, before your little signs and signals. We are the hum beneath your pavement, the thought behind your silence. It twitched, several limbs unfolding and reaching, not toward me, but toward the screens above, dot, and the faces on them began to change, dot, one by one. They morphed into people I knew, neighbors, kids, parents, the school principal, the mailman, my brother, all of them, all staring at me. This town listens, the hive said, and now it speaks. I wasn't sure what I was seeing. Were these people dead, copies, echoes, or just illusions meant to break me? Didn't matter. I did what I came down to do. I charged it, yelling, maybe screaming, I don't remember. I drove the stop sign pole straight into the center of the mass. It shrieked, not out loud. In my mind, like a radio dial turned all the way up and stuck between stations. I dropped to one knee, clutching my head, nose bleeding, but I didn't let go of the pole. The lights above began to burst, one after another, raining sparks. The ground buckled. Something inside that thing was breaking it, thrashed and tore, unraveling like wet fabric, limbs falling off like dying branches. Then I heard Maya scream. Above me, outside the hole. I scrambled up the tunnel as fast as I could, fingernails tearing at the walls. My flashlight was dead, my vision spinning. But I climbed. I found her surrounded. Not by infected, not by copies, but by people, or almost people, dozens of them. Faces smooth like wax. Some wearing skin that didn't fit, too loose, too tight. Some had mouths that didn't match their eyes, but they stood there, silent, watching. Maya was holding the fire axe. She looked at me with one word on her lips, "Run." But I didn't run. I stood next to her. Raised the pole again, Dot. Whatever these things were, they weren't us. Then a strange thing happened. They all froze, heads tilted at the same time. Like a signal had cut off mid-command. Some stumbled, some dropped. One of them, the one with Officer Halverson's face, let out a sigh and collapsed. The hive was dying. We backed away slowly, not taking our eyes off them. The sky above the trees was shifting again. Red turning to gray, clouds unrolling like someone was painting the sky backward. And then, silence. Not that humming silence, Dot, real silence. The kind you feel in your bones, Dot, the kind you get when the thing that was listening finally stops. We walked back into town as the sky lightened. Not bright, not blue, but lighter, like the world was trying to remember what morning felt like. I hoped that meant the worst was over. It didn't. Main Street looked frozen, like a movie set after the crew had left. Empty strollers, still spinning bike wheels, a lunchbox sitting in the middle of the road, leaking applesauce onto the yellow lines. No birds, no wind. But the things, the twisted ones, the biters, the copies, they were gone, or hiding. For the first time in 12 hours, it felt like we could breathe. Maya walked beside me, clutching the axe. Her eyes weren't wide with fear anymore, they were narrowed, focused, like a kid who'd grown up too fast in a single night. We reached my crossing post, same spot I stood every day before this all started. The handheld stop sign was still there, resting against the fence. I picked it up. It felt heavier now, like it had seen something too. I looked around. The sky was getting brighter, warm even. But something was wrong. There was no smoke, no helicopters, no rescue teams, no distant engines or emergency broadcasts. Just light. And that hum, still there, subtle, low, like it had retreated underground, deeper this time. Waiting. I turned on the walkie-talkie, static. But beneath it, I heard a voice, faint, garbled, but there. Sunrise is not safe. Repeat, do not trust morning light. Not real. Reflection protocol active. Then silence. Maya stared at the sun as it broke over the hills. It doesn't feel warm, she said. Not like it used to. And she was right. The light touched the buildings, but didn't glow. It spread too evenly. No shadow, no change in heat. Like someone had laid a filter over the world. That's when I saw them dot across the street. A row of people, standing shoulder to shoulder, faces blank, clothes too clean, not twitching, not growling, just waiting, watching us. The hive was gone, but the infection wasn't. It had learned, changed shape. Started wearing the sunlight now. Because this was never about just biting. It wasn't about spreading like a sickness, It was about replacing copying, becoming the background noise we stopped noticing. And maybe the town hadn't forgotten how to die, Maybe it just wanted to keep going. Even without us. I looked at Maya. She nodded once. We didn't go back home, We didn't wait for help. We kept walking, out past the edge of town, past the power lines, past the place where the world started to feel real again. Because if the light can lie, if the morning can wear a mask, then maybe the only safe place left is where the dark still feels honest. And that's how we survived the first 12 hours, not by fighting, not by hiding, but by listening, because this town still speaks, And now, we know how to listen back. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe. Your support keeps these creepypastas coming. Until next time, stay alert, stay safe, and never ignore the feeling that something is watching.